The price good men pay for indifference to public affairs is to be ruled by evil men. The heaviest penalty for declining to rule is to be ruled by someone inferior to yourself. Never discourage anyone who continually makes progress, no matter how slow. The measure of a man is what he does with power. If women are expected to do the same work as men, we must teach them the same thing. Human behavior flows from three main sources: desire, emotion, and knowledge. Education is teaching our children to desire the right things. There are three classes of men: lovers of wisdom, lovers of honor, and lovers of gain. There are two things a person should never be angry at: what they can help, and what they cannot. An empty vessel makes the loudest sound, so they that have the least wit are the greatest babblers. Character is simply habit, long continued. Musical innovation is full of danger to the state, for when modes of music change, the fundamental laws of the state always change with them. People are like dirt. They can either nourish you and help you grow as a person, or they can stunt your growth and make you wilt and die. Excellence is not a gift, but a skill that takes practice. We do not act rightly because we are excellent. In fact, we achieve excellence by acting rightly. Good actions give strength to ourselves and inspire good actions in others. For this feeling of wonder shows that you are a philosopher, since wonder is the only beginning of philosophy. Poets utter great and wise things, which they do not themselves understand. False words are not only evil in themselves, but they infect the soul with evil. The difficulty, my friends, is not in avoiding death, but in avoiding unrighteousness, for that runs faster than death. The heaviest penalty for declining to rule is to be ruled by someone inferior to yourself. The price of apathy towards public affairs is to be ruled by evil men. No one is more hated than he who speaks the truth. Excess of liberty, whether it lies in state or individuals, seems only to pass into excess of slavery. Moneymakers are tiresome company, as they have no standard but cash value. The direction in which education starts a man will determine his future life. Wise men talk because they have something to say, fools because they have to say something. Good people do not need laws to tell them to act responsibly, while bad people will find a way around the laws. For a man to conquer himself is the first and noblest of all victories. A hero is born among 100. A wise man is found among 1,000. But an accomplished one might not be found even among 100,000 men. Justice in the life and conduct of the state is possible only as first it resides in the hearts and souls of the citizens. He who commits injustice is ever made more wretched than he who suffers it. Every heart sings a song incomplete, until another heart whispers back. Those who wish to sing always find a song. At the touch of a lover, everyone becomes a poet. Astronomy compels the soul to look upwards, and leads us from this world to another. Justice means minding one's own business, and not meddling with other men's concerns. He who is of calm and happy nature will hardly feel the pressure of age. But to him who is of an opposite disposition, youth and age are equally a burden. The God of love lives in a state of need. It is a need. It is an urge. It is a homeostatic imbalance. Like hunger and thirst, it's almost impossible to stamp out. There's a victory and defeat. The first and best of victories, the lowest and worst of defeats which each man gains or sustains at the hands not of another, but of himself. To be sure I must. And therefore, I may assume that your silence gives consent. All the gold which is under or upon the earth is not enough to give in exchange for virtue. Love is the joy of the good, the wonder of the wise, the amazement of the gods. No one ever teaches well who wants to teach, or governs well who wants to govern. We do not learn, and what we call learning is only a process of recollection. Twice and thrice over, as they say, good is it to repeat and review what is good. This and no other is the root from which a tyrant springs. When he first appears, he is a protector. And what, Socrates, is the food of the soul? Surely, I said, knowledge is the food of the soul. When there is an income tax, the just man will pay more, and the unjust less on the same amount of income. For good nurture and education implant good constitutions. Knowledge, which is acquired under compulsion, obtains no hold on the mind. The most important part of education is proper training in the nursery. The excessive increase of anything causes a reaction in the opposite direction. The most virtuous are those who content themselves with being virtuous, without seeking to appear so. Excess of liberty, whether it lies in state or individuals, seems only to pass into excess of slavery. No one knows whether death, which people fear to be the greatest evil, may not be the greatest good. A state arises, as I conceive, out of the needs of mankind. No one is self-sufficing, but all of us have many wants. Apply yourself both now and in the next life. Without effort, you cannot be prosperous. Though the land be good, you cannot have an abundant crop without cultivation. The learning and knowledge that we have is, at the most, but little compared with that of which we are ignorant.